Hello and welcome to John Can Fix Anything. Today I'm going to show you how to do a transmission service on a Honda HRV. So if that's what you're looking for, then please stay tuned. Okay, let's talk about equipment and let's talk about safety. Okay, first thing of all, I've seen videos where they don't lift the vehicle up or they just put it up on a set of ramps or just two sets of jack stands in the front. That's not going to work in this application. You need to lift it up and you need to put it on 4 jack stands. The reason you need to do that is because you're going to have the vehicle level, because after you finish topping it off to the 3-quart mark, you're going to want to cycle through the gears. You can't do that if your wheels are on the ground, so you really do need to jack it up all the way around. If you don't, I know a lot of people like me before, you only had 2 sets of jack stands. Go to your neighbor, borrow another set, go get them, rent them. You know, you can rent them for practically nothing. Get 4 sets of jack stands, you're going to need them. Make sure you're lifting with a good lift, and then make sure you wear a good pair of safety glasses. Okay, I'm big on safety glasses, and I think it's something that you really have to have. As far as what you're going to need, let me move over here, I'll show you. Now, a lot of times I'll try to be, frugal, okay, but this is not one of those times. Okay, go to the Honda dealer, get the Honda genuine HCF2 transmission fluid. Don't skimp on it. Takes 4.2 quarts, so you're going to have to get 5. Okay, and also a new washer. I'll show you that washer, which goes on. Let me walk around here. Okay, that's the washer you need right there. I'll give you that number. I'll put it in the remarks. Okay, don't skimp on this one. I do it a lot and I save money where I can. I think these cost me $12.95 at the local per quart. It's well worth it. It's just do it. The Honda transmissions are very, very temperamental. So don't take that chance. Go ahead and use the Honda. That's about the only time you'll see me do that. Okay, you're going to need this type of funnel whenever you get ready to fill it back up, and I'll show you in the video where this goes, and you'll have to have it. Okay, I'm using a 5-gallon, but you can get away with whatever you want. I'm using a 5-gallon catch pan just to make sure. Make sure you got some gloves, plenty of drop cloths, because you're definitely going to get, it's going to get messy, no doubt about that. Okay, let me walk over here, show you the tools you're going to need. Very simple on the tools. It's just really not that big a deal on the tools. But let me get them over here and I'll show them to you. Okay, so what you're going to need to get the plug out with is a 3/8. I'm using just a breaker bar, 3/8 breaker bar. And I'm going to use an extension with it. You don't have to, but I like to put the extension on and get it out a little bit away from the plug. I want to make sure that I like to do that. And then when you put it back in, you're definitely going to need to put it on with the right torque. So I use a torque wrench. It's 36 foot-pounds. That's what it is, and I'll put that on the screen and put it down there in remarks for you. So make sure you do that. Okay, that's basically all of the tools you need. You really don't need anything else. Just everything I showed you right here, that's pretty much it. It's very simple. This process isn't hard, okay? Anyone can do this with just a few tools and a little bit of patience. You're going to be able to do this. You're going to save yourself, $150, maybe more. So just make sure you do it right. Don't take any chances, okay? Be safe. Use the safety glasses, use the jack stands, use everything the right way, okay? So that's basically it. I'll put all this down in the remarks so you'll have all the information on what sizes you need, and we'll get on with the video. I did forget one tool, which is a 17 millimeter. You're going to need this 17 millimeter for the overflow plug. Okay, I forgot about that, so make sure you have that 17 millimeter. Okay, let's talk about lifting points real quick before we bring this up. Now I'm looking up right there, there's the driver's door. Okay, and if you go straight down right behind the front driver's side tire, there's that lifting point right there. Okay, you look down there, there's one right up there in front of that. We're going to do that on both sides. We're going to put 4 jack stands on right in these. Okay, we're going to lift up We're going to put all 4 of them on these, get that set up real quick, and then I'll be right back. When you're lifting up the front, I go right on the transmission bell housing. This is a picture of it so you can review it. Make sure you're right on the housing. You don't want to mess anything up in there because there's a lot of stuff there. Okay, for the rear, pull right under the transfer case, right at the front portion of the transfer case. Okay, don't go on the sides. Right underneath that case, that's the strongest point, right there. That's where you want to lift from. Okay, and when you're looking at the vehicle, you want to make sure that it's nice and level across the bottom. Okay, you don't want it to be too high in the front or too high in the back. Just nice and level. A 3/8 breaker bar works perfect, but make sure it's the long one because you're going to need the leverage. It's going to be on there pretty hard. You're ready because it's going to go. Make sure that your pan's in the right place. You got your gloves on. You got your everything you need because she's coming out of there. Once you get the plug out, it's really not too bad. It'll gurgle a little bit, as you can see. But just go ahead and be patient with it. It's actually going to pick up a little bit more if you go up on top and pull the plug off the top. And you want to go ahead and let this run for a while. Go do something else. I mean, clean on the engine or do whatever you want to because this is a little bit of a slow process, and that's why I'm not speeding it up right here. I want you to understand how this works. So go ahead and pull it. You see it's gurgling a little bit, but it's got quite a few quarts that need to come out of there. So make sure they come out of there. Go ahead and take the plug out at the top. Let it run. Just go do something else. Mess around for a while. Come back when it's stopped dribbling. Okay? That way you're going to be covered and everything's going to be good and you'll be able to put the new in and with all of the old out that's possible. All right? As you can see, I've been talking for quite a bit of time and it's still coming out. It didn't even look like it was going to come out in the beginning. And now it's going. So I'll go ahead and speed it up now, but just take your time with this. Get everything out of it. Don't put the plug back in until you've gotten everything out. All right? All right, let me show you where the fill plug is. Just look right here at the battery. Look over to the left just a little bit, right below the air box, and you will see the fill plug right there. Let me show you a little better picture of it. There you go. Right there where that little red X is coming up there, that red arrow. That's the fill plug right there. Okay, here's the plug. And it's just a rubber. It's got a little metal piece on it, but it's a rubber plug. It's simple. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't untwist. It just pops off. Okay, and that's it right there. Nothing to do, really nothing to clean. I'll give you another shot of the hole so you can see it. But it's actually pretty hard to get to this. Actually, you've really got to work yourself around and get your hand in there. It's going to be a little bit of a chore to put it back on, but shouldn't be a big deal, even if we have to do it with a pair of pliers. Okay, I just want to add this real quick. I found the tool for putting that rubber cap back on. This extended pair of pliers put it right in there, and I didn't have to fight it because it is really tight for your hands in there. So I got these years ago at Harbor Freight, and I think they were like $4 or $5. Trust me, this is well worth it. Go by Harbor Freight, pick up a cheap set of these, put that cap back on with this, and you'll be good to go. Okay, let's look at the drain plug real quick. And it does have, let me get a paper towel here so you can see. I mean, it's just, there's like a rubber magnet cover. It's just a magnet on the end right there. But you can see it's got a little bit, this is probably just normal. I mean, there's no big scraps of metal or anything like that. So transmission looks like it's in pretty good shape. Okay, and now we're going to swap this. That's the crush washer. So I'm going to go grab a new crush washer for it real quick. I got it right here. And I'll put this down in the remarks so you know the numbers. You can buy them off of Amazon, or you can go to your Honda dealer and get them. It takes one crush washer for this, and it takes one crush washer for the overflow, which I'll show you in a little bit. Okay, so this one is ready to go back on now. All right, it's 36 foot-pounds with a torque wrench. So make sure you put that on with a torque wrench, 36 foot-pounds. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and reinstall this. I'll be right back. Okay, just so you can see right here, there's my 35 mark and 1. So 1, 35, 36. That's what I need for my torque, so I'm going to go ahead and torque that down. Okay, so we're going to start back now with the 3.2 quarts is what we're going to do. We're going to go 1 quart short. We're going to go 3.2, then we're going to let it run. We're going to go through the gears. I'll show you all that. And then we'll top it off with 4.2, and then we'll call this good. So I'm going to go ahead and get this in position, and I'll show you how it's all set up on top of the vehicle, and then we'll go ahead and put it back in. All right, let's add our 3.2 quarts. And once we get that in, then we're going to go ahead and start the engine, cycle everything, go through all the gears. So I'll go ahead and speed this up. Go ahead and pull the funnel out, wipe it off, and grab your plug. And if you've got a pair of those needle nose pliers, you definitely want them right about now. So go ahead and take the needle nose and grab that in just like this, and you can put that plug right back in there with absolutely no problem at all. If you try to do it with your hand, you can probably do it, but it is going to be pretty difficult. Okay, we're going to jump in real quick and start it up. We're going to go through the gears. We're still up on jack stands. Okay, you still got it. There. So about 5 seconds per gear. So still up on the jack stands. Okay, see I'm in reverse. Neutral, 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Drive, 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Yes, 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Okay, so I have put 3.2 quarts in, and I have ran it through the gears. I do it for 5 seconds per gear. I've got that done. I've got my my funnel back in. That's ready to go. Okay, now I want to show you where the overflow plug is. You see where that white cap is right there? If you just go straight down below the car, all the way down, about where that 2 is on my Texas plate, right on the other side of that is where your overflow plug is. Okay, I'm going to get underneath and I'm going to show you where that plug is. It's a 17 millimeter, and we're going to have to break that open so that we can go ahead and fill the 4.2, and then when that leaks out, we'll be good. So I'm going to reposition, get everything ready, and then we'll go at it again. Okay, so if we go right down underneath, see right there, that's the one right there. Here's the case. He's right up there. 17 millimeter. All right, I'm going to put a breaker bar on that and get that broken loose, and then we'll be able to go ahead and fill until it starts running out of there, and we will just be about finished with this project. I tried to use a 17 millimeter close-in wrench, but I just couldn't get enough on it, so I had to grab my breaker bar and a 17 millimeter socket, and it's tight in there, but you can see I can do it. But you're really going to need the breaker bar, so go ahead and do it and see I can still get it out, and then go ahead and pull the plug out. You want to make sure that you change the washer on the plug as well. Um, I'll go ahead and pull it off. This plug is not magnetized. It doesn't have the magnetic end on it, but you still need to change out that O-ring. You can go ahead and start filling it from the top. And I like to get enough in there to let it run out pretty good and give me time to get the plug in as well. So, I put a little bit in there. I don't know exactly how much it is, but you can see it's running pretty good. Then I grab the plug, which is not easy to get in there because the darn plug is really, really tight in there. But just work with it a little bit and you'll be able to get it started. And you can see I finally did get it going after quite a few chances, but I did get it in there, and that way you can go ahead and run it up and then go ahead and tighten it up. Again, that's going to be 36 foot-pounds, just like the others. Okay, the plug is seated back in down there. It all looks good. I've got everything buttoned up. Wiped my engine off. Everything's good. I'm still up on the jack stands. So I'm gonna take myself off the jack stands real quick, and then I'm gonna drive it around the block. So we will be back in just a minute and finish this project up. Okay, I want to talk about the underneath cover for just a minute. This is the cover, and it has 5 screws and a bunch of different inserts, and they look like this. Okay, my Honda HRV didn't come with them. Didn't come with this cover, but this cover to me is very important because if you have a lot of road noise from underneath your car, it's probably because of this cover. So I bought a cover and I modified it. I had to cut and I had to bend and I had to do a lot of things to make it fit, but I wanted it underneath. And then what I did after that is I soundproofed it with this really reasonable Amazon soundproofing, and I bent the areas in I needed to bend in because I wanted this cover underneath. And I can tell you that this cover makes a whole lot of difference on this noise and the sound underneath your car for these HRVs. So just remember that. I didn't have a cover, but definitely want to look into getting you a cover. Okay. All right then. Well, I took the car around the block. Everything shifted just perfect. Everything looked great. So I finished up the project. I'd appreciate everyone for watching. And if you liked what you saw, please give us a thumbs up or better, subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it and it does help a lot. So everybody have a blessed day. Thanks a lot. We'll see you again later.